Okay, I've got a 3-year-old in the pen, and I'm just going to give you an overview what I'm looking for when I start my new horses. Okay, so the first thing I'm looking for is to get them to just move. I want them moving freely around the pen. And then I'm going to start asking them to turn in, turn out, and to stop, obviously, in that turn. What that's going to do is it's going to start teaching them cues. It's going to start teaching them to learn to listen and to respond to cues. As well, it's going to give me a good idea on how this horse learns, how it moves, and how quickly it's going to learn to pick up to respond to cues, which will help me down the road when I start riding. This horse is better on this side, not as good on this side. This horse picks up things really quick. It's a little slow. This horse is maybe a little pushy, maybe a little frightened. All of those kind of things, I'm going to be gathering information in these first few sessions to really give me a good idea of what horse I'm going to be training for the next while. So I'm going to ask him to move off. Doesn't matter which direction, and this is what I'm looking for at the very beginning, just for him to move freely. Okay, I don't want to have to push him real hard. This is a good sign. This means this horse is going to be freely moving and probably a little easier to make move when we start riding. Okay, and I'm going to ask him to come in towards me. Okay. Begin to listen to those cues to figure out when he steps here, I need to move and come in. When I step towards her face, I want her to move away. Okay. As well, I'm looking at the eyes, the ears, her mouth. See if her mouth is licking, see if her eye is blinking and soft. Those things are going to be telling me I'm looking to learn to listen, and I'm not being real hard and bracy. So those are really the basic things. And if they're not paying attention, I'm really going to get after them. Okay? I really want my horses understanding there's a consequence for not paying attention. There, okay? That's what we're looking for right here. So what I know about this horse, just from working her the little bit I have, is that she's athletic, she moves well, but I'm probably going to be dealing with some fighting issues. She's probably going to fight me a little bit. But those are the things that I learn in these first few sessions. So when we get done with the basics of the round pinning, teaching your horse turn inside, outside, kind of figuring your horse out, I put a saddle on him. I do that as quiet as I can. I don't want to get them scared or riled up about the saddle. I work them around, get them comfortable with that saddle where they're not really worried about it or thinking about it. I don't want them really paying attention to the saddle when I'm trying to teach them something else. So once they're comfortable and they're listening to me with the saddle on and they're turning in and out and they're doing well there, then I begin to start driving them. I drive them first probably, I'd say first 3 sessions in a halter. And the reason for that is they've not had a bit in their mouth, and so I don't want to be pulling on their face in their mouth, teaching them how to give their head. I'd rather pull up there on their nose where there's a little more forgiving and you're not in their mouth. Once they start to get the idea of when I feel that pressure I need to give, then I'll put a bit in their mouth. Okay, so I'm going to hook it to the side ring of the halter, and then I'm going to come through the stirrup, and then I'm going to go through the back cinch. The reason I go through the back cinch is so when I pull, I'm not pulling that stirrup way away. If you don't have a back cinch on your saddle, you can tie a string from stirrup to stirrup, and that'll help as well. But I just use the back cinch, so it makes it a little easier. Okay, when you first start your horse, go real soft. Don't scare them. You don't want to scare your horses in your training. You just want to be teaching them. Okay, so I'm just going to get it around her butt here. I'm just going to go real soft. ask her to move off. If they want to turn, or they got to get used to it, and that's fine. Okay, so I'm not going to just pull on her face at the beginning. I'm going to teach her by doing the same thing I did in my first few sessions, is I'm going to step in front of her and get her to turn. So how this is going to work is that I'm going to pull on the rope a little bit so she can feel it, and then I'm going to step up here and move her. Because I don't want to get in a tug-of-war and with her and burn her hind legs with my rope and so on. So I'm going to pull on her halter and then step in front. So she learns every time I pull on that side of her face, she needs to turn. And then eventually I won't need to step in front of her. She'll just give to the halter pressure. Okay, pull, step. And I'm going to do this, like I said, probably maximum about 3 times with a halter. Sometimes I'll graduate a little faster than that, but I want to make sure that they kind of really get the understanding before I start pulling on their mouth with a bit. But it doesn't matter what horse I have in training, I always drive them. So I want to have a little bit of control. You know, you're not going to have a ton when the first time you get on them, but just that little extra of them understanding how it feels to get pulled on their face will sure help you when you begin the first few rides. There we go. That was good. Okay. So that's what it looks like when we start progressing with the saddle and driving. And so once I get this real smooth, then we'll progress to the next level of training.